There are indications there could be more huge and potentially bloody uprisings in Syria and Yemen tomorrow. But as for the current revolution in Libya, tonight brought news that the U.S. will hand over command to NATO to enforce that no-fly zone. But questions remain. What is the American role going forward? With Gaddafi's air force now smoldering, what do we do now? And for how long? ABC's Martha Raddatz went in search of answers in the exclusive first interview with the operation's top brass for tonight's Target Libya reports.
The man asleep here, miles above the Mediterranean Sea, is General Carter Ham. He and most of his staff passed out upright somewhere off the Libyan coast. We're in an Osprey, the Marine Corps craft that's part helicopter, part airplane. It's not comfortable. But the commander of all forces deployed for Operation Odyssey Dawn catches a nap wherever he can. Ham was taking me to the U.S. battleships here on his first trip since the war began. This is the USS Kearsarge, with more than 2,000 U.S. troops on board.
I used a very technical term as I was talking to the president, and he said, how are the attacks going in Ashdabia? And I said, Mr. President, the Marines are hammering the out of it.
All eyes have been on Ham and the men and women who serve under him here, especially with the fighting inside Libya intensifying. These are the latest images from a raging battle for a place called Misrata, the last major town near the Libyan capital still controlled by anti-Gaddafi forces. Gaddafi's forces appear to have taken control of the hospital, the seaport, and the airport today. Ham has had less than a week to turn the tide against Gaddafi, who has vowed to show no mercy to the rebels or civilians who've risen up demanding the end to his 40-year rule. These pictures emerged of a hospital hit by tank fire, children hit by snipers there. At Ham's disposal, a powerful array of American military in the region, with nearly 200 warplanes, over a dozen helicopters, hundreds of missiles, and thousands of sailors and Marines. This is a frustrating, complicated mission for General Ham. While he told us most of Gaddafi's fixed air defenses have now been taken out, it remains more difficult every day to go after the Gaddafi forces, who are often dressing up like civilians and attacking opposition while jets patrol above.
You can't stop all the violence through air power. You can't get those snipers. You can't really tell people apart.
I believe we are and can continue to make a difference. Will we stop all the violence? No, we haven't. Does it bother me that there are innocent civilian people who have been slaughtered by these people? Well, it's been my mission to protect them. I absolutely take that to heart.
And the fact that there is no clear end state?
Does it surprise you that we're just now discussing what the next phase is?
We could have had, and obviously would have been nice to have the longer debate about what, eventually what do you want to get to? What do we like to see the international community support in Libya? But he was slaughtering his own people. You can't stand by. I don't think he can stand by and have that debate about end state while he's killing his own people. By that point, it may have become a moot point.
And nobody can say what the toll of this war will be on a United States military stretched thin across the region. Tonight, 2,000 fresh forces are preparing to head for the region aboard the USS Bataan to eventually replace these on the Kearsarge, who have been going from crisis to worldwide crisis long before this one began. Already an American plane has gone down in Libya, prompting rescue teams aboard this amphibious assault ship we're on to launch a rescue for the downed F-15 pilot. In an ABC News exclusive, the two Marine Osprey pilots who picked up that pilot described their mission for the first time.
We saw his flare on the ground, and we got eyes on his position. And an airplane way up overhead at about 25,000 feet was able to shine a laser down.
They could hear his voice over the radio.
How did he describe the situation?
He was understandably a little frazzled.
So they were communicating with him. There was a few times I think his wingman was saying, hey, drink some water, take it easy, you know.
The Osprey descended.
As soon as we set up for our approach to land, he just started bolting for the airplane. So I think he said that, he was in our dust cloud by the time we landed. So he was running at the airplane like this.
He was on board seconds later.
It was awesome when they said, hey, we got him. And I was like, yes.
Boy, how'd that feel when you were taking off?
Oh, it was awesome. When we landed, and I was like, you know what, that's probably the coolest thing I've done since I've been in the Marines.
Everyone knows that story had a happy ending, but this war seems a long way from being over, or the ending even defined. I'm Martha Raditz for Nightline on the USS Kearsarge.